Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Imran Riaz Khan to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Imran Riaz Khan's words. First of all, regarding the destruction caused by the floods, the situation is now becoming clear. Some very tragic facts have come to light. In one family where a wedding was taking place, more than 20 people lost their lives. And just now, the government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has released a statement saying that they will fully compensate all the losses. Whether it is loss of livestock, agricultural land, crops or houses, these financial damages will be compensated, though of course the loss of life cannot be replaced. According to the latest reports, the death toll is being reported at around 400 by different estimates, while some say around 300. Reports are coming in from different places and the final verification will be done. Another extremely tragic scene that we witnessed was when cloudbursts occurred in the mountains and floodwater came rushing down. Along with the water, wood that had been stored in the mountains by the timber mafia also came flooding down. The timber mafia is active in many areas, constantly cutting down forests, working like a mafia in collaboration with government departments. The way that the timber, already cut and stored, came rushing down with the water, it seemed as if entire forests had been chopped down and washed away. Many places showed such scenes, and they were truly heartbreaking. If any of you saw that recent Indian film where huge amounts of wood were released into a dam, you would recognize a similar sight. In certain rivers where floodwater had gathered, massive amounts of chopped timber were seen floating. This wood was not from uprooted trees. Had it been actual trees, they would still have leaves and branches attached. Instead, this was timber already cut with saws, stored, and then carried away by the floods, evidence of the timber mafia's illegal logging. I want to say something to my fellow Pakistanis. When the timber mafia cuts down forests in your areas, do you know what ordinary citizens usually do? I've visited many regions and asked locals, why don't you stop this cutting? And the common response I hear is, this is the government's responsibility, not ours. They are cutting government forests, not our personal trees. Let the government handle it. Why should we get into trouble? This is what people usually say. But now you see the consequences. These forests are not just government forests, they belong to all of you, the people of Pakistan. Every Pakistani is the owner of the nation's forest. The land and forest owned by the government are in reality the property of the people. You pay taxes to the government so they can hire staff to protect these forests. If those officials don't do their job, does that mean you will also remain silent? Imagine you hired a watchman for your house and thieves broke in with his collusion. Would you just say, that's between the watchman and the thieves, or would you rise up and stop them? Of course you would stop them. You are stronger in numbers and power. The same applies here. When the nation's forests are being destroyed, you must not remain silent. Stop it by force if necessary. Confront the timber mafia and drive them out. Forests are not being replanted, yet they are constantly being cut down. And the timber mafia is making money while the governments pay no attention. Imran Khan was the only leader who focused on this issue. Since then, no one has worked seriously on climate change. So remember, these forests are your property. The timber mafia is stealing from your land. They cut and stockpile timber in the mountains, then smuggle it into the markets by various secret means. This criminal cycle must end. Viewers, journalist Sohail Warich recently wrote a column advising Imran Khan to apologize. He even said something astonishing, that the nation cannot bear another Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, implying that Imran Khan could be assassinated. This was effectively a threat, conveyed after Sohail Warich's meeting with General Asim Munir. Previously, the military establishment used other dummies to issue threats. Now they have recruited a more polished mouthpiece. Imran Khan has repeatedly said he would rather die in jail than strike a deal. He has vowed never to bow before Asim Munir, yet here comes Sohail Warich, threatening that Khan could face Bhutto's fate, that he could be killed. He advises, if you want to live, apologize. Life is precious. The nation cannot suffer another tragedy. He even suggests that Imran Khan should take a U-turn for the sake of stability. But Khan has always said, I can take a U-turn on strategy, but never on my mission. His mission is to win true freedom for the Pakistani people from the establishment's control. That mission cannot be abandoned. If Imran Khan were to apologize, it would only serve Nawaz Sharif's interests. Nawaz and his daughter know they can never reach Khan's popularity. They want to drag him down, force him to apologize, and then show the world that Khan is no different from them. That if they are cowardly, he is not truly courageous either. But how would the establishment even judge if an apology was sincere? What criteria would they use? Would Khan have to apologize with specific rituals to prove humility? This whole idea is absurd, and if Imran Khan were to lose to the establishment in this matter, the greater tragedy would be that the people's hope of defeating the establishment or escaping its oppression could die. That is exactly what the establishment wants, that Pakistanis should stop even imagining a future where the establishment is held accountable. Sohail Warich's column is just another threat disguised as advice. He has long been a servant of the establishment, not just recently. Unlike me, who never had friendly ties with generals like Backfire or Faiz, Warich has always defended them. I openly clashed with Backfire when he told me to tell the nation to forget Kashmir and normalize ties with India. I refused. I also warned him about his games with groups like TLP, so when people claim I had good relations with Backfire or Faiz, I reject that outright. I never even met Faiz in my life. As for Backfire, my rare meetings with him were tense and confrontational. Now, let's compare that with what Sohail Warich wrote when Backfire was granted an extension. He declared it the path to Pakistan's sustainable progress. Because General Qamar Javed Bajwa, a student of history and a lover of progress, has been appointed Army Chief for another 3 years. On this decision, Prime Minister Imran Khan deserves congratulations from America, Europe and countries all over the world. Because now Pakistan will only move on the path of peace and progress. Just think. This is the same Sohail Warich who used to sing praises in honor of General Bajwa. What else did he used to say about him? Listen to some of his words. They will refresh your memory. He wrote that General Qamar Javed Bajwa, who has an understanding of history, does not want civil war in Afghanistan, nor war with India. So for peace-loving people around the world, Bajwa's appointment is good news. When rumours of Bajwa's extension were hot, General Faiz Hamid had not yet become ISI chief. But while the futures of 4 senior-most generals were put under a question mark, it was said that Iron Man General Faiz would continue Bajwa's legacy. After the 3-year extension of Bajwa, Faiz was now seen as a leading candidate for the next army chief. In other words, they were saying Faiz was coming in as the next chief. And the praises didn't stop there. Listen further. Warich wrote that General Faiz would be among the top 4 senior-most generals, and if he too were given 6 years till 2028 as army chief to carry forward policies, Pakistan would, like Malaysia, Hong Kong and China, progress for 12 years and reach new milestones. In other words, they were saying Pakistan will become China, Malaysia and Hong Kong. If Bajwa completes 3 years and then Faiz becomes chief for 6 years, Pakistan will transform into a great model of progress. Now compare this with what they are narrating today about General Asim Munir, that he has a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan. They said the same in the past, that General Ayub had created a 10-year model of sustainable progress, economic continuity, and political stability. He built dams and was about to take Pakistan to the level of Malaysia and South Korea, but political instability ruined it all. This person, Sohail Warich, has long been a loyalist of generals. He has always flattered them. I did not want to say this about him, but every dictator since Pervez Musharraf, Sohail Warich has heavily praised, boosted their image and sung their praises. Then when times change, he suddenly becomes revolutionary. He slips in a couple of critical lines in his columns to look like he stood with the people. He has travelled the world more than anyone, using journalism as his ticket. He has enjoyed life, never made even the smallest sacrifice for democracy, journalism or humanity. For him, life has been comfort and pleasure. That is why, when he sees Imran Khan sacrificing, he thinks, this is foolish. Anyone living a life like Warwich's will always consider a man like Khan, who lives a life of struggle and sacrifice, as stupid or mad. He will say, why sacrifice? Enjoy life, travel the world, people will pay for your tickets. Go here, go there, enjoy yourself. Why take blows? Why fight the system? But such people never write their names in history. Today, people know Sohail Warwich only because he talks about Imran Khan. If he writes about anyone else, no one would even notice. He must use Khan's name to stay relevant, while Khan himself is writing history. The questions that should have been asked of the army chief, Warwick never asked them. He should have asked, why was there rigging in the 2018 elections? Why were fake Form 47s issued? Why was PTI's election symbol snatched away? Why were PTI members, poets, journalists and others forcibly disappeared? Why were MNAs abducted? Why was Parliament attacked? These were the questions he should have asked the army chief. Instead, he issues threats on their behalf. Ironically, Warwich's column actually gave Imran Khan a clean chit. It proves Khan committed no crime. The cases against him are false, fabricated only to satisfy the military establishment's anger and desires. He is in jail only because he refuses to surrender, not because of law or justice. Warwich, perhaps unintentionally, ended up testifying that Khan is in jail for his stance, not for any wrongdoing. Viewers, Asad Umar made an interesting statement. He reminded that 37 years ago, on this very day, General Zia-ul-Haq died. Just 2.5 months before his death, Zia had dissolved Parliament and dismissed Junejo. Analysts said Zia had complete control and the system would continue for years. But Allah willed otherwise. Bombs hidden in mango crates destroyed Zia's plane, and he was martyred. Asad Umar said, "Man makes big plans but knows not what tomorrow brings." Zia had long-term plans, Musharraf had long-term plans, other generals had long-term plans, but where did those plans go? When Allah's will comes, nothing else matters. Viewers, another scandal. Pakistan decided to import 200,000 metric tons of sugar. The companies that offered the cheapest rates were denied the tender. Instead, contracts were awarded to companies demanding higher prices. For example, a London-based company offered $539 per ton, but was disqualified on technical grounds. A German company offered $555 per ton, also rejected. Instead, contracts went to a Swiss company at $580 per ton and a Dubai company at $586 per ton. So cheaper sugar importers were rejected and expensive ones were chosen. This means higher prices for Pakistan. This is how the nation is constantly looted and deceived. The result will be even more expensive sugar, while the people can only sit and watch. Pakistan's Economic Policy and Business Development think tank released details of the country's top 40 business groups. The richest, most powerful, far ahead of all others, is Fauji Foundation, valued at billions of dollars. Pakistan begs for a single $1 billion loan, while Fauji Foundation stands as the nation's wealthiest group. In Punjab, 21,000 government schools have been outsourced. They are no longer under government control. Along with this, 43,624 teaching posts have been eliminated. Almost 45,000 teachers dismissed. This is what is called progress in Punjab, while the Chief Minister hides in Japan, avoiding the public, trying not to be confronted by overseas Pakistanis during her speeches. That wraps up our translation of Imran Riaz Khan's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.